G'day. This is Charlie, and I'm coming to you today with your daily dose of business technical inspiration. Topic number 232 is essential website features every small business needs. I'm not sure every one of these on this list is essential, but they're all pretty damn important, to be perfectly honest. And I know that when I am speaking to businesses for the first time or even the second or third time about what they need on their site and what they want their site to do, people will come to me and say, Charlie, we need a website. What do we need? What should we do? And I don't tell them upfront what I think they need or what they should do. I ask lots of questions, but there are a few things that we need to make sure that your website has and that I tend to include in our packages when I put it together because Google wants them and it's essential. It's important. Let's get into it and have a talk about it. The first thing in this day and age is that a website needs to have a responsive design. Now, I started doing this back in 2007. In fact, I was building websites before that. My first website was built in 1994. I built my first website in 1994. But I started doing this professionally, officially in 2007. And back then, responsive design was not a thing. We didn't have mobile phones to think about, or we didn't have as many mobile phones. And certainly getting the internet on your mobile phone wasn't a thing. In the last few years, though, even a bit more than a few, responsive design has become really important. What is responsive design? I hear you saying. We hear this term and we're not quite sure what it means. Responsive design simply means is that when you look at it on a desktop computer, it looks one way because you've got a wide, shorter screen. When you look at it on a tablet, it fits on the tablet and it lays out nicely on the tablet. We're not cutting words off. We don't have to scroll left and right to see things. Images aren't being distorted. Menus work correctly. And when we look at it on our phones, it works in a portrait and it works in a landscape mode. See, portrait, landscape. So that's what responsive design is you take one design and it responds to the size of the screen and the type of the screen it's being displayed on. That's what responsive design actually means. Nothing too out there, except, it requires a bit of skill to get it right when we're laying out a website. So we need to ensure that, you've heard the term mobile friendly. We need to ensure that our websites are mobile friendly. More so now than ever. And I've got to say, I still lay out the desktop computers first. So when we do our design, we lay it out on the desktop. Mainly because it's easier and you get a better view and you can show more, do more on a bigger screen than you can on a tiny little phone screen. And then I go through and make it mobile friendly, smaller screens friendly. The thing that I'm seeing is that more people view websites on their tablets or their phones or sites are being viewed more on tablets and phones than they are on desktop than they have ever before. And I think that's just going to continue. So it's really important to us that we make sure, to us as designers and developers, that we make sure that the responsive design is set before we launch a site. You need clear navigation, simple, intuitive navigation that's going to help your visitors find what they're looking for quickly and reduce bounce rates. There was a metric that I was taught when I started doing this. It's 3 clicks and you've lost someone. If you make someone click 3 times on your site, you've lost it. And the where that statistic comes in is every time you make someone click, for every click, you lose 50% of your site visitors. So if we start at 100% of people and they come in and you say, right, you want to find that piece of information, click here. They click, they go to the next page, you've lost 50%. So you're now down to 50. And then you say, click again, and they go down and you've lost another 25. Then you click again and you've lost more. So you're losing 100% of your people pretty much within 3 clicks. 3 clicks, they're not interested. So it's really important with your navigation that it's clear and it's intuitive. More importantly than that, because the navigation is secondary, is you need to understand what the purpose of your website is and what actions you want your visitors to take when they get there. Once you understand that, the navigation becomes a little easier to set up because we can set up the workflows visitor flow through the website so that it's easy for them to find what they're looking for. We literally lead them to it and we're not going to lose anyone by doing it. It absolutely needs to have contact information. There are a couple of things that Google requires a website to have to be listed and to start ranking in the search engine, you need contact information and you need a privacy policy. Privacy and terms and conditions page. Two things that are an absolute must to have. I'll come to the privacy policy. It's not actually listed in this list of essential things because who wants to read a privacy policy? But it is absolutely essential for your search engine optimization. But you need to have contact information. Contact information in terms of your visitors. They need to know how to get in touch with you. My preference, and I've got to say, for a lot of local businesses lately, been dealing locally with people, and I've been trying to get in touch with them. I've gone to their website and think, I'll just give them a call, see if they've got what I want in stock, because I'll take the drive out there to do it, even if it's a 2 or 3 hour drive, because I'm living rural at the moment. No, you can't ring them. Damn. No, I can't email them. I can send them a contact form, which is almost the same, which is pretty much the same as email. There's no web chat. There's no DMs. There's no way of contacting them except for the web form. Maybe that's okay for you. I'm going to suggest that you may want some other form of contact to make yourself stand out from the crowd. But you do need to make sure that you've got contact information there. Who are you? How do they contact you? And where are you located? Some people are looking for local businesses, and if you've got a website up there and the people don't know where you are, I know I look at it, I can't tell where you are, I'm not interested, don't want to deal with you, move on. So contact information is important. You need to have an About Us page or an About Us section on your home page. I'm not going to say you absolutely need to have a separate page for this, but people want to know about your business. They want to know about you. They want to know. The notes I have here say they want to know your values and your mission. What an audience, what a visitor wants to do is to make a connection with you. They want to understand whether you are a business that is aligned with them, whether you're someone they want to do business with. So yes, values and missions, but I'm not going to say you need a value statement, you need a mission statement there. Tell a story. Again, I've got some great interviews. I'm going to point to Gabrielle Dolan's interview that I did a little while ago now, and she talks about how you create a story to connect with your audience. It's really, really important. So your About Us page or your About Us section on your homepage is really important. They want to know who you are. They want to know who your business is. They want to know who they're dealing with. If you have services or products, you need to have something that clearly outlines your offer. Detailed descriptions, high quality images. Pricing, I am out on that. You may or may not want to put your pricing on your website. I would say test it. Test what works. Some people find that putting pricing on their website allows them to filter out people who aren't aligned with them, who aren't a good fit, because they look at the price and go, I'm not paying that, or oh, that's too cheap. Yeah, you do actually have people say it's not expensive enough, I don't want to deal with them. There are people who don't put their pricing on because they want to have a conversation to work to before they get that pricing out there. Some people are concerned about putting their pricing on their site because of competitive information that they're giving to their competitors in the market. I'm out on it. I don't have one way or the other. I find that we need to test it for everyone, for each business, and to see what works best for them. But you need to have a products or services page or something about what it is you're offering so that people know what you do. So in addition to your About Us page, which is about your business, you need to have, what do we do? How do we work with you? If you've got testimonials or reviews, yeah, testimonials and reviews are good to have. Not everyone start out with them, so they're not going to be an absolute essential to have, but they are good to have, mostly because they build trust and credibility, and people won't feel like they're alone. People like to feel like they're part of something. And if other people have already commented and given you feedback, then they'll go, oh, other people are using it, maybe I can. So testimonials and reviews are important. I'm not going to say they're essential. What is essential is a call to action. If you're sitting there and you're starting to glaze over and go, Charly, what the hell? more jargon. Call to action is the thing that you want a visitor to do when they come to your website. Something that they can take action on immediately or fairly quickly. It might be making a purchase. It might be contacting you for more information. If it's making a purchase, you need to make sure you've got a really solid workflow through or visitor flow through your site to getting them to make a purchase. My gut feel for most small businesses is that very few people buy off of the first touch, and the first touch is the first time you speak to them, right? You touch them. Very few sales are made on first touch. A statistic that I work on, which I was given years ago, and I haven't been able to confirm whether it's still valid or not, takes 7 touches before someone will buy from you. 7 touches. That's 7 pieces of interaction. That's not 7 interactions in one day, by the way. It's seven meaningful interactions before someone will actually engage to buy from you. So if someone's coming to your site for the first time, I am not certain I would be necessarily setting my call to action up on a generic, general small business website to be buy now. My call to action would be take my free report. Here's let me give you more information. Let me give you something that you can act on now that will make a difference in your life or in your business. And then you'll go into my email flow and I'll be able to just gently drip feed information to you, and then every now and again remind you that every now and again that will remind you I'm around. It'll encourage you to come back to my website. We're starting to develop that relationship. We're starting to develop that rapport, I hope. And then that's when I start into the sales process. So I would generally say to a small business coming to me, unless I've got a very established product and that we know exactly how it's going to sell online, don't go for a buy now. Go for here is a free thing to encourage you to keep coming back, because then you get their name and their email address and that allows you to keep marketing to them. But you've got to give them something of value in return. I'm sure I'm going to end up doing an episode on this. So call to action. Make sure you've got a clear call to action on your site so that visitors know what it is you expect them to do. Security features, they're the other essential things that you need to have. Everything else I've got on this list that I've just shuffled around are nice to haves, or maybe you want and maybe you don't need. But security features are important. Every website needs to include a SSL certificate, a socket service layer certificate. I think that's what it is. Jargon, Charly. SSL. Basically what an SSL certificate does is it's a piece of security. It's a security measure. It sits on your server, and when someone connects to your website, it says this is the website that you think you're connecting to begin with, and then it creates a secure, I'm putting it in inverted commas because I know I'm going to have my security people out there saying, Charly, it's not entirely secure. I know it's not entirely secure, but a connection from the web browser of your visitor to your website, and anything that passes through that connection is only between them, and it's much harder to sniff and to be tapped and for data to be taken out of it. But essentially the SSL is an identification. The SSL certificate is a way of identifying that this web server is identified as being owned by this business, and it is delivering the information. So it is delivering information on behalf of that business. It's a security mechanism. Very important to have, and that's one of the other things that Google has required in the last few years, that all websites who get listed in Google must have an SSL certificate. Most hosting providers will offer you one for free. It's a hosting provider that does it. If not, you might be able to use something like Cloudflare to give you your SSL. If you need any help with that, reach out. This is the stuff that we do every day for businesses and clients. Okay, what are the other things that are nice to have that are useful? Blog or content section. I'm going to cover SEO later on in this series, so I'm not going to go into a big detail here. As a small business, you may not be ready to start blogging or providing regular articles, and you don't want to go to the expense of hiring a writer to do it on your behalf. So it's a secondary thing to me. It's not as important as getting a good website up there and starting to get people through and starting to get your lead magnet working, getting your call to action working, getting your list built. But having content go up regularly, new fresh content go up regularly, is a really important thing to getting your site listed in Google and getting ranked. So it ranks up there to mention. I can't class this as essential though. It's not something you need to launch with. Social media integration. Now, is it essential? No. Is it really, really, really important? Yeah, I think so. You want to let people know where they can find you easily so that they can follow you. It not only helps you with your follower numbers in social media, it just makes your customers feel like they're a little bit more connected with you. So put your buttons on to say that, follow us or join us on Facebook. Connect with us on LinkedIn, tweet with us on Twitter. Oh, sorry, is it X with us on X now? I don't know. No, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? Join us on x.com. But so having your social media visible on your site is also important. Okay, so there's some of the essential things that you need. Well, in fact, they're pretty much all the essential things that you need when you're launching a website for a small business. Not everything I've listed there is something that you must have on day one. Most of those things, the things that I said are essential, you absolutely do need to have. Even down to your call to action, I'm really going to say, and when you come and talk to a business like me or another agency, they should be asking you about what is it you want your customers to do or your prospects to do when they come to the website. These are the things that they should be talking to you about. If you want some help there, reach out. If you want to ask more questions, leave some comments on wherever you're listening to or watching this video. You can join me on locals.com, askcharlyleetham.locals.com, and join in the conversation there. And let's see how we go. And if you've got, if I've said something here that you disagree with, if I said something here that you think can be done differently or should have a different focus, let me know. Comments are great. Comments start conversations. Conversations is how we learn. And I love learning and I love conversing with people. So please let me know. Please remember, if you can, to like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And I will see you at 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time tomorrow for the role of your website in building brand credibility. Bye, guys.